Hey guys, another episode of News and Brews here. I'm Kittyanne Hudson.
Ben Latocki.
We're with Production Realty here in Jackson.
Yeah.
Got a hot topic to talk to you about tonight.
Yes, so this is something that buyers tend to ask us all the time. What happens when we put a bid in? So you put an offer in. What happens? What does the seller have to do? What is the seller supposed to do? How long do I have to wait for an answer? What if there's multiple offers?
Yeah, so there's just a ton of buyer questions, especially in a super hot seller's market right now. So it's a really tight market for buyers. There's low inventory, which often leads to a lot of multiple offer situations on houses. Yeah. So we see a lot right now, especially with inexperienced buyers that are doing this for the first time or maybe for the second time. I put my offer in first, like why isn't it being accepted? Or I put my offer in and it was the highest dollar amount, why wasn't it accepted? Yeah. And the truth behind those is that the seller always has 4 choices, no matter when your offer comes in or how much you offered for.
Yeah, so I tell agents and sellers and buyers all the time that the seller has 4 options when they receive an offer. And some of them are pretty basic. Number 1, they can accept.
Right. It's a great offer. They don't want to change anything about it. They just accept it as written. Here we go. We're moving on.
Yep. The second thing they can do is reject.
They don't like it at all, and you're out. So bye. Try again.
Yep. Maybe they took another offer. Maybe it was just not what they wanted at all. They can reject it. Third option is they can counter.
Yep. So when a seller counters your offer, they don't like all of the terms that are in that offer, but they like some of them. So they just want to offer a different opinion or a different option, but still run with the nuts and bolts of your offer.
Yeah, they want to make it work, but they want to modify. They want to modify something. Yep. So the fourth one, though, guys, this is the one that a lot of people forget, and that a seller has the option, in Michigan at least, to do nothing. This is the one that drives buyers crazy.
So no response, no counter, no acceptance, no rejection. They just are quiet. Crickets. Yeah. Nothing coming from the other side.
So it drives us
It makes us mad.
Crazy.
It irritates the fire out of us.
When we are on the buyer side, but sellers have that right. And there's all kinds of tactics and strategies when you're in the seller's position. And one of them could be, let's just sit on this.
Right.
Let's just sit on it, see what happens. I know the buyer wanted a response by tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Let's not respond.
Yeah.
Let's just ghost them. It can be a tactic.
Yeah. So typically, especially what we're seeing right now in this hot seller's market, is the seller is in charge. The seller is the one that holds the cards. The seller is the one that sets the pace of that transaction. From a buyer's standpoint, it's not your fault. There may be absolutely nothing wrong with your offer whatsoever. You've got a solid pre-approval. Your EMD amount is good. You know, your offer is good. We're in good shape, but the seller just doesn't do anything. And it's our responsibility to make sure as a buyer that we don't take it personally.
Yeah. So we got a couple minutes left. Can we chat real quick about the what happens with, like you mentioned earlier, the first offer in or the highest offer in, and why don't we have to respond as the offers come in?
Right. So, right now what we're seeing is offer deadlines come into play. So a house hits the market on Monday. The seller's not even looking at any offer, whether there ends up with 1 on the table or there ends up with 10 or 12 or 15 offers on the table. They're not going to look at any of them until Friday. And that's their prerogative. It's seller's choice always when it comes to the seller's market.
Yeah. So when you put that offer in, you want to respond. You want an answer by tonight. And
sorry,
you may not get that. Now, sometimes they do respond. They can, obviously, and they can accept the offers, like you said, accept, counter, reject. But they have this option to do nothing. And so another question that I'm getting is, I feel like my offer was extremely above list price, $100,000 more than list price. Why didn't the sellers take my offer? There's no way somebody outbid me. And in my experience, we're seeing sellers who it's too good to be true kind of a thing. They don't like that kind of a tactic because they believe that the appraisal's not going to come in.
Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't matter what the buyer thinks the seller thinks, or what the buyer knows the seller thinks, because the buyer doesn't know and the buyer's agent doesn't know what those offers were or what the difference was or what the differentiating factor was in getting our offer accepted or not accepted and them going with a different offer that was on the table. So word to the wise is bring your best offer right now. If you're a buyer, bring your best offer and do everything that you possibly can to get that house under contract. If it doesn't go through, know that most things happen for a reason. And there's going to be another house that hits that market.
Sure.
So just hold tight, buyers. It's going to get better. It's going to get easier. Work with an agent that is strategic and knows how to get you to the closing table.
Yeah, true. So if you have any questions, reach out to us. Keep sending the questions our way. We love to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching.
Talk to you soon.
News and Brews. Good night.
Bye, guys.